All sub-assemblers and everyone else, welcome and ndimnwalachu to today's unboxing. As you already know, today we have the XM Studios Bumblebee statue from their awesome Transformers line, which is actually also one of my most anticipated lines from XM Studios. And as you can see, also Bumblebee comes in this relatively small and also relatively light statue, which is pretty unusual for XM Studios. As you know, XM Studios is known for large, bulky and really heavy boxes, but this statue is definitely an exception and does not belong to what XM Studios is usually known for. So I have this box right here and let's just see what's inside. We don't want to waste any time. So I also just want to mention again, I appreciate everyone's support, and everyone else who hasn't subscribed yet watching this video, please do so and hit the like button, because we're also trying to reach the 1,000 subscribers line, and so we want to reach it as fast as possible. So let's, for now, and I appreciate everyone's support again, so let's just see what's inside this box for now. Okay, inside we have this envelope, which probably has the packing guide and the QR code for the assembly video. And as usual with all Transformers statues from XM Studios, they unfortunately do not come with an art print, which I still find it's quite of a shame, but we'll have to live with it. Okay. Similar to all Transformer statues from XM Studios, they come with this more like Cybertronic design on them, and which I think looks really nice, but still have this hard cover from XM Studios, and this gives it a kind of unique touch. And on the side you have a small description of Bumblebee, and as usual, also let's get out all the pieces first and we'll continue there with the assembly.
Girma undan hesa, yende siber
Okay, welcome back. As usual, I have already taken out all the single pieces and I have them all right next to me, and we have the base right here in front of me. I can tell you this is again one of the smallest XM bases like ever, especially for transformer pieces. I mean, when you've seen all the other transformer pieces like Optimus Prime and Starscream, this is just teeny weeny, like this is such a small base. But it is quite, I mean, it does have a lot of detail on it, but more about that later. So, let's put the things together. So first would be one of these small, or not small, but light pieces of this Cybertronic style base, which goes into the side right here, I believe, with a huge peg. And next would be this other smaller piece which has a magnet, and that goes in right next to it, right there. And next would be a similar piece to the first one, which I believe goes in here behind, next to this engine or turbine, which has a key and goes this way around, and a huge peg too, and no issues up to now. Everything fits in pretty nicely. Okay, so I believe next piece would be like Bumblebee's main body, which has the windshield in front, which actually has this plastic cover, but I'll leave that on for now. And before you connect to the base, you have to connect his right leg, well, into his body, which goes in with a huge peg and goes in pretty nicely, and that leg fits into the base, into this huge point right here. There we go. Now it fits in. No problems there up to now. And next should be his left arm holding the gun. That fits in with a magnet right there. And the right arm next, which obviously fits in right here also with a magnet. No issues there up to now. So next should be, we have the option of two face portraits right here from Bumblebee. We have like a kind of battle armor version and one just showing his face. Both look nice, and both actually have a light up function with batteries. I'm sure I still have a few batteries somewhere, and I'll add those for later. So let's choose the face version first, and which goes in right there. And let's put the other portrait aside. So next should be, I believe, Witwicky, and his main body just fits in right in front of Bumblebee into the base with a much smaller peg. Nicely there, and has his right arm also with a magnet, and the left arm. And we have this kind of glass or kind of plastic dome for his kind of spacesuit, and that kind of just goes on top of him, and it fits in. Kind of, you have to kind of push it in between his armor, and then it will fit and also sit there without falling out. So technically we're actually done with the Bumblebee statue, and also looks pretty nice up to now. And the first thing that strikes me is actually the fact that it's so small. As I said before, when you've seen all the Optimus Prime statues, Starscream and Megatron statues, and you see Bumblebee here, it almost seems like a step down, but that's not because it's a bad statue. It's just because the kind of character Bumblebee is. He's just a small character, and it's pretty insane in a way. But we still have one more piece. We have these two kind of base parts for the transformed version of Bumblebee. And here we have the transformed version, which is the small beetle, which has which also has this plastic cover still on it, and I'll leave those on, and that goes just like right there. But it does come with these bumpers. That one goes in the front, I believe, the numbered one, and it does have very small pegs, and the other ones go in behind. And it also comes with these two side mirrors, which are really small, and they seem also pretty fragile, and those just fit into the side with very tiny pegs, and they go in just right here, and without any problems. And here we have Bumblebee in transformed version. Wow, this seems like a pretty interesting statue. I'll just take a few moments and look at this statue and be back for the review then. Okay, welcome back. I've had a few minutes to look at this statue and just look at all the details and check out if there are any flaws or any breakages of this statue. Luckily enough, I couldn't find any issues with this statue, and I'm really happy about it up to now. And up to now I can only see positive things about the statue. Well, let's start with the paint job of the statue, or maybe let's start with the basic design of the statue. I can tell you the concept of the statue is insane. They definitely got Bumblebee. Just the character of Bumblebee has been done phenomenally. They taking this G1 style from the Transformers, and I'm really happy XM Studios also took their Transformer line according to the old cartoons, like all the first generation, and not like Prime 1 according to the movies, and I'm really happy about that. And up to now I can only see positive things. Even the pose of Bumblebee with Wiki. The statue is actually more of a diorama rather than just a single statue. I mean, with Wiki together, this statue becomes a diorama, I think. Even though it's really small, I think this statue becomes a diorama, and it looks just great. The pose of both of them, just, I mean, reaching out to shoot like Bumblebee does, and with Wiki with his armor, like his space armor on Cybertron. I mean, they have this Cybertronic base with a kind of engine or turbine on the back, and all these other things like kind of parts of Cybertron on the base. It all looks just great. I mean, there's so much detail on the base. Like, you have all these screws, these tubes, and all these springs, whatever you want to call them, and every single detail has just been included, I mean, phenomenally on the base. And also the weathering done by the paint job is just great. Let's talk about Bumblebee, and with Wiki, I can tell you the sculpt of their body is just insane. Like, the detail, I mean, the level of detail of this statue is just, I mean, it's really breathtaking. I'm going to tell you now, as I said before already, I don't know how often I've said that already, this is a really small statue when you compare it to Optimus Prime and Starscream. And this statue is definitely not going to be the eye-catcher statue you have. If you have someone coming in to see your collection, this is definitely not going to be the statue that's going to catch their eye first. But once you start looking at the detail of this statue, I can only tell you there is just so much detail on this statue, and every single screw, every single tube, no matter how small they are, they have been sculpted in, like on the side of his chest here, or even on the top. Every single tiny dent, screw has been sculpted in, or battle damage. All the same thing with Wiki's kind of space armor. There's so much detail on the sculpting of their bodies, and I don't know, it's just really insane how much time they invested in kind of putting these statues together. I mean, that's just, I mean, thumbs up to XM Studios for what they did with this statue. I mean, that's all I can say. They did a really great job with this statue. And talking about the paint job, I mean, just like with all the other Transformer pieces of XM Studios, paint job is 10 out of 10 for me on this statue. Up to now, there's nothing I can complain about this statue. For me, this statue is definitely like a 10 out of 10. I mean, and the same thing with even the Beetle that you get separately. When you start looking at it, there's actually some kind of weathering on the edges, and even the sculpting. Like, even if you look at the bottom of the statue, there's actually there's quite a high level of detail and paint job. I mean, the weathering of the car, and that has been done just, I mean, phenomenally by by XM Studios. And there's, for such a statue, for the side piece of this statue, I think that was this is a great job by XM Studios too. And even the face of Wiki, if you just look at his face, there's, I mean, just the details on his face, and also the paint job on his face, even the mouth, his teeth, the eyes, even on like his eyes, like, I mean, where he's just like looking so angry, that was done really nicely. And I mean, that's not easy when you have such a small statue, but they invested a lot of effort and making the statue look really great with so much details. I mean, I think still the best part of the paint job here is all the weathering and battle damage. That's really, I mean, more than 10 out of 10 for this statue. And as you can see, the head of Bumblebee does light up. There's a button here on the bottom, and the batteries fit in here on the top. You need two LR44 batteries for each head. I have the second one here. Also here the eyes also light up, and let's just switch those out for now for a moment. And I think also the detail on the portraits are just phenomenal. Even the expression on the other portrait here, you have of Bumblebee, you have, well, his teeth or around his mouth, it's as if he's just like angry, just reaching out to fight and the Decepticons, but that was done really great. So, or on the inside of this turbine you can see the different color shades from blue, that kind of to purple, and then a red. Maybe it just turned off or was still on fire before, I don't know, like, but that's how it looks like. And wow. Let's talking about the size of the statue, let's just do some measuring. From bottom to the top, the statue is not quite, but almost 41 centimeters, and in depth, maybe from the from the tip of his gun to the back of his base, it's about 55 centimeters, and width let's see what we have here. We have about 31 centimeters, something like that. And I think this is, again, talking about size, as I said, this is, I think, XM's smallest statue ever, at least from the ones I've owned. And you have also here on the side the transformed version. We can do the measurements on this. With the base together, it has 27 centimeters in height. It's about 11.5 centimeters. Yeah, everything's great on the statue up to now. So, I mean, even here on the parts of the body where on his legs, where the front of the beetle just like splits up, the details on the inside have been done just phenomenally. That's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just done really phenomenally by XM Studios. So, that's all I could say today, and I hope you liked today's video. I hope you liked the statue. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So, as I said before, we want to also hit the 1,000 subscribers, so don't hesitate to subscribe and help us reach our goal. So, I hope you liked today's statue, and God bless you, God bless our statues, and have a nice day.
የመርሁ መነሻ ትዛለኝ ጋፋት ሽሙን ምን ሽሙን ሸወት መናወር የፋሲል መዲና ይሰማ የፋሲል መዲና ይሰማ ተድማም 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 እስከናም በሳሚ ጉና ክምር ድንጋይ ፈጣን እንደ ቂላና አነጣጥሮ ገዳይ ማክሰኝት ፍራት አምባ ጊዮርጊስም ከኋላ ነው ሲሉት ከፊት የሚደርስም ኧረ አገሬ ጎንደር የልብ የሚያደርስም ደጎማና ሻውራና ደልጊና ጎርጎራና የሩዝ አምራች አገር እንዴት ነው ፎገራና ደረስጌና ስላምጌ መካነ ብርሃን ናፈቀኝ ሰሜፋ ተራራው ዳሽን ደንቢያና አብደራፊ ዳንሻና ሁመራና በገላና ኪንፋስ